We're going to be learning Torah Ayin Vav in Likutey Moharan, and it's also connected to both of these stories are connected to yesterday's parasha. It was after these things and these words, and God tested Avraham. What are these words? One opinion, it was Ishmael making fun of Yitzchak, that Ishmael chose to get circumcised at 13 years old, and Yitzchak only had it happen to him against his will at 8 days old. And the other words were that the other opinion is that it was the Yetzer Hara. This is the Samech Mem, Sammy, coming to make a claim. Look at Avraham, look at all the guests he hosts and how many people he brings into his house and all of this, and he hasn't even done one sacrifice to you. That's what the Samech Mem said. And Hashem said to him, don't test me. If I tell Avraham to sacrifice his son, he'll do it. And Samech Mem was like, yeah, right. So Hashem said to Avraham, sacrifice your son. So this was the thing. It was after these words, Hashem nisait Avraham, tested Avraham, lifted up Avraham. Let's see. It says in Tikunei Zohar, in the Zohar, Misita de Yemina mocha chivara kekaspa. On the right side of the brain, it's white like silver. Adu dichtiv, this is what's written, Zera Avraham Ohavi, the seed of Avraham, my beloved. This is Avraham, who's the right side, the side of love. He merited to a complete mochin, and Agdalat mochin, he was able to expand his mind. And this is what we're going to learn about today. How do we expand our mind? How do we get out of the fog? Because life shouldn't be fog. We shouldn't have preventions to connect to Hashem. It's just an outcome of our bad actions. It should be clear. Ine bistaklut, when we look with our physical eyes and with our third eye, with our mind, yesh ora yashar ve'ora chozer. There's a light that goes out and there's a light that returns to us. The itpashtut ha'ra'ut, the hu ora yashar, the eye that can see, the seeing eye, right? The ability to see that comes out of your eye, that's the straight light. Uvehagi'ah koach ha'ra'ut lirot ha'davar shechafetz, when your eye hits the thing that you're looking at, that you desire, that you're looking at, unasa or chozer la'ayin. Now there's a returning light that comes back to the eye. Again, this is all being said over 230 years ago. כי עיקר כוח הרעות מחמת שכוח הרעות הולך ומתפשט ומכה בדבר הנראה, וחוזר הכוח הרעות מחמת הכאה לעיניים, ונצטער הדבר בעיניים. When a person looks out into the world, this ray of light goes out, it hits the thing that he's seeing, and this comes back now because of the hit, and it makes a hit back on the eye. So right, a light goes out of your eye, hits the object, and now that object sends a light back, and it comes back and hits your eye. ונצטער הדבר בעיניים, and this thing starts to get formed in the eyes. ואז העיניים רואים את הדבר הנראה, and then the eyes can see the thing that it sees, right? The thing that was looked upon. The Arizal talks about this. The Arizal says that there's power in the eyes. Where do we see this? With the ostrich. The ostrich doesn't sit on its eggs, it looks at them. And after a while of looking at it, that looking at it is what, so to say, ripens, cooks the egg until it's ready to hatch. So there's a power that comes out of your eyes. We have to be aware of that, right? like it's explained very well, נמצא שיש בכוח הרעות בחינת אור הישר ואור החוזר. So we see now in the power of sight that this idea of a light going out, a straight light and a returning light. כי כוח התפשטות הרעות בעיניו לדבר הנראה זה בחינת אור ישר. The power of your sight when you look that spreads out from your eye to the thing that you're looking at is called the straight light. And when it hits it, that thing, and then comes back, that's what's called or chozer. It comes back inside your eye, an image is formed of what it was that you saw. That's the returning light. Hashem yitbarach baruch hu, Hashem blessed be He. Af she'eno nitpas b'shum midah. Hashem could never be grasped and understood, for sure. No questions asked. We can't ever describe what it is to see Hashem, to know of Hashem. In human words, we don't even have the vocabulary for it. We don't have the way to express it. But in order to saber ozin, to give us something to work with, right? So we'll be able to understand it. נאמר בו גם כן, it also says about Hashem, כי רם השם ושפל יראה וגבוה ממרחק ידע. This is a verse in Tehillim 138, the 6th verse. כי רם השם, Hashem is great, lofty, exalted. ושפל יראה, and he sees the low beings. וגבוה ממרחק ידע, and he's higher, from far he will be known. What does it mean? Yireh, to see, that's the straight out light that goes out. Mirmechak yidar, from afar you will know, that's the light that comes back, or chozer. Because the main way of knowing what it is that you saw, it's by way of the light that comes back. Right? When we look out, we don't have the message yet. We're just sending out the ability to see. What is it? When do we actually see and know what we're looking at and know what it is? When the light comes back into our eye. When the light leaves our eye, we still don't even understand what we're seeing. This is the power of sight, comes back into your eyes. That's why sometimes, right, Rebbe Nachman is explaining this beautifully. Sometimes a person sees something, but they don't know what they saw. Why? Because it passed before your eyes hit it, the light went out, but it didn't manage to come back inside. So you're like, what was that? It went too quickly for you to even detect what it was. You pass something with speed in front of someone's eyes. You didn't have enough time for the power of sight to come back into your eyes and to form the image of what it saw until you knew what it was. So now we see knowledge, what we know, knowing what it is that you saw, that's the light that comes back. That's the Or Chozer. Veda. You have to know. Sheistaklut, this understanding of what it is that I saw. Again, whether we're talking about spiritual sight or physical sight, understanding it, what it was that I saw, that makes a vessel. Sight itself, the understanding of what it is, that makes the vessel. Meaning it makes gvul uzman, boundaries, borders, and time to the thing that I saw. Because before I saw the thing, meaning the knowledge, has no borders, it has no limitations, no time. And when you see the thing, then you can make a boundary for it. You can make limitations for it. And this is what the rabbi said on the pasuk in Dvarim, V'yancha v'yarivecha v'yachilcha et aman. Where's a pasuk from this that we can prove it? V'yancha, Hashem, it says in the Torah, you were afflicted, you were starved when you were given the man. How are you afflicted and starving when you're eating man? You're eating, how could you be hungry? How could you be afflicted? You're getting food. The Gemara says, a person who sees their food and eats is not the same as a person who can't see their food and eat. It says that blind people never get satiated. Because the eye is really that satiated. You don't see what's in front of you. So they had man, but man looked the same every day. and it tasted however you wanted to think it would taste. But what it was actually was a small piece that gave you tons of vitamins and everything that you needed, but you didn't eat a lot. It wasn't so much there. And it didn't have texture, it didn't have color, it didn't have all these different things. It wasn't a steak, it wasn't a milkshake, it was man. It was man. So it's like as if you didn't see anything. So that's affliction and you're still hungry, even though why? Because you didn't have sight. You didn't have sight. You couldn't see it. Whoever doesn't see doesn't have limitations. So you think you're hungry, but you don't know that you just ate a big plate or you didn't. You can't put the boundaries on it. What comes out of this Gemara? Maikra. What do we learn from this? Tov marei einaim ma'alach nafesh. It's better to see something with your own eyes than to try to imagine it yourself without seeing it. And inside of that is hinted an idea that the power of sight, sight is what allows your soul to move, and it makes it a boundary as well. Meaning, by way of the ability to see, you do iluch lema'achal ha'mishteh olech benefesh. You give the movement to the food and the drink that's inside of your body. Meaning without sight, you can't really move the food around in the drinks inside your body, which are gvul and kli. This is the limitations, the boundaries in the vessels. And they don't give you satiation. But by way of sight, now you're able to limit the thing in place and in time. And now you start to get satiation from your eating. V'zeu ma'alat bitachon. And this is the importance of bitachon. Bitachon u'bchinat istaklut. Bitachon is this aspect of looking. Meaning, shemistakel v'tzofeh be'enav la'Hashem yitbarach levad uvoteach bo, that you look at Hashem alone and you have full trust in Him. If our sight is what makes things limited in space and time, this is essentially one of the Torahs that outright speaks about manifestation more than anything else. What the world likes to call manifestation sometimes is the most egotistical, unkosher thing in the world. This is kosher Jewish manifestation. That you put your eyes on Hashem and you have full trust in Hashem Yitbarach, which is the aspect of Enei cholelecha yisaber, where the eyes of all look up to you with hope. They have a lack and they look to you, Hashem, to fill it up. And it's explained that bitachon is done by way of looking, by way of sight. Because by way of istaklut bebitachon el Hashem, you look at Hashem. The way you look at Hashem is a glance, is a look of trust. So that also makes a kli, that makes a vessel for now. Now you make a border and time for the shefa to come down, for the abundance to come down, that the blessings that you need now to come down in your life. The main thing is to make the vessel. There's always abundance coming down from the heavens. And that's the Or Yashar, that's the straight light that comes out. But it has no time. It has no limitations. Because it's above time. It's a spiritual light of Hashem that's coming up. And now has to be reduced into time. And at a proper time it has to come to the person. And it's not yet limited to come in the form of $100, a house, a car, a child, success, whatever it is. It's above time and space. It's a godly light. Like we see sometimes too. You need something right now. Right now you need it. If it comes, sometimes after 2 years, 3 years in delay, it already existed in the world. I need $20. $20 exists in the world. So why did it take me so long to get the $20? You prevented it coming from you. Because it didn't have time and place. It didn't have a place to settle into. So too, the shefa that comes from the heavens, As long as it doesn't have a kli, a vessel of bitachon, a person seeking out it with full trust from Hashem, that here's your vessel, Hashem, bring the light down to you. Here, I'm looking at you, I trust in you, I don't want help from anybody else, I want it from you, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, all the shefa and all the blessings that I need, and I'm looking only at you. And by way of my sight, I make time and space. And now it doesn't have to stay spiritual. It doesn't have to stay above time and space. It has a place to come down into time and space. When you look and anticipate with bitachon in Hashem, you make for this shefa that needs to come down from Hashem, the blessing that needs to come down, you give it limitations, you give it time. To come at the time exactly when you need. And this is the pasuk, the eyes of all look up to you. The eyes of all look up to you, and you give them their food at its time. Looking brings down physical food at its time. When you take your eyes and you look up to Hashem, blessed be He, meaning you have bitachon, the eyes of all look up to you in hope. By way of that, you will give them all their food at their time, in its time specifically, at that time that it's needed. Because the bitachon, which is the idea of looking, it makes parameters, it makes limitations and time for the shefa to come down. We're going to stop here. That's half of the Torah. And next time we pick up, we'll continue explaining how do we get it. How do we get the power to look? How do we have the ability to have this sight that we look in the world and we can make limitations and boundaries for the blessing that we need? In short, I'll tell you, it's by way of connecting to tzaddikim. But we have to understand it a little bit deeper in Rabbeinu's words. Zat Hashem, two amazing teachings that we can take from the parasha. To know that our preventions and our obstacles in life is just Hashem playing hide and seek with us. And He wants to see us break through the chatchila riba, like they say in Chabad, jump over the wall. You see an obstacle, don't try to make calculations, go through it, break it, around it, run over it, just go. Go right into your obstacles, go right into your preventions, because that's where Hashem is. And also that when we look at Hashem with eyes of bitachon, with trust in Hashem, I know Hashem's going to take care of me. I know Hashem's going to provide for me. So Rebbe Nachman explains that power to look at Hashem with such trust that He's going to take care of you and He's going to provide exactly what you need. With the eyes of all look up to you with hope, and you give them their food in their time. By way of looking at it, anything in life with trust, with bitachon, you make now, by way of the power of the sight, there's a light that goes out of your eye, hits the thing, and when it comes back, now you can form it. Meaning your sight of bitachon, your look in the world, that I trust in you, Hashem, to give me everything I need, that gives the parameters, physical parameters of this world of time and place, that one, you'll receive the thing when you need it, and two, will be able to come from being such a lofty spiritual light to constrict itself and condense itself into physical blessings that you need in life. Food, wife, husband, money, car, house, children, whatever it is, spiritual aspirations, spiritual desires. Have eyes of emunah, you will make a vessel to attain and retain that light. Shavua Tov!